Good afternoon. Welcome to Spotlight on Business with Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. I'm Janice Wissanan, Membership Director with the Chamber, and this afternoon I have a very special guest with me, Michael Sadler. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Janice. Happy to be here.
Oh, wonderful. And Michael, you're with CenturyLink.
Correct.
And you are the Assistant VP of Business Relations. Is that correct?
Government relations.
Government relations.
Yes.
So tell me, what does that mean, Michael?
It means I do everything that no one else wants to do.
So you just have an asterisk? Is that what it is?
Other duties as assigned. My primary responsibility is kind of being the advocate for the company with elected officials around the state. That's everyone from a city council member or mayor up to our congressional delegation out in D.C. There's a number of issues that impact our industry. Could be a right-of-way issue, could be a tax issue that I'm dealing with state lawmakers on, or it might be a FCC type issue out in D.C. But that's my primary job, is doing that, and other duties as assigned.
Other duties as assigned. So are you going to D.C. here in a few weeks?
I will be. Actually, Sunday we leave on a Des Moines partnership trip.
Excellent. Excellent. So CenturyLink, how long have you been with them?
I've been with CenturyLink for 21 years. Keep in mind that the name's changed a few times. When I started, we were called U.S. West, one of the Baby Bell companies. In 2000, we were bought by a company called Quest Communications. And then about 3.5 years ago, we were bought by CenturyLink, which is a company based in Monroe, Louisiana.
So 21 years. You must have been a young boy when you started with CenturyLink.
I was young and skinny at the time. I'm not young anymore.
So tell me, over that 21 years, what all have you been involved in?
I've been involved in a lot. I was fortunate. I started with the company in an entry-level position, call center type job, basically taking inbound calls and selling consumer products, which at the time our high-tech products were call waiting, three-way calling, landlines, voicemail, things like that. We've obviously developed into a much more high-tech company since then. But I worked in the call center. I was a manager in that call center. I moved over to regulatory affairs about 10 years ago, and I've been doing legislative and regulatory affairs since then.
So that's a true success story. Someone that started at the bottom and worked their way through all the ranks. And it's a nice way to be able to learn about all the products. And you've seen a lot of evolution.
Absolutely.
Call waiting, things like that.
Right.
That hasn't been really...
Those things are commodities nowadays.
Yes, they
really,
are.
Our customers want high-speed internet, cloud services, things like that. And they consider landlines and those other things, nice, but not necessary.
And you've got some other partners and some bundling and different options like that now through CenturyLink.
We
don't
do.
you?
For both our consumer and our business customers, we work with Verizon Wireless to bundle wireless services with your CenturyLink bill. We work with DirecTV if you need a video service. You can put all that together and get a nice savings as a package.
Well, you're forward thinking, at least through that evolution that you've seen come through.
I'm fortunate to work for a great company that's had great leaders over the years, and we've been able to come out as one of the top providers in the country.
What do you think are some things that set CenturyLink apart from some of the competition, let's say?
I'd say number one, our employees. We're lucky here in Iowa. We have 1,200 dedicated employees. A lot have been around for decades. I know the business well. Our legacy is one of service. We've essentially been in Iowa for over 100 years, starting as Northwestern Bell and through those other companies that I talked about. And I think that sets us apart from some of these companies that have only been around really in recent years that compete against us. Yet I think at the end of the day, we set ourselves apart with our service and our employee commitment to the business.
1,200 employees. That's a lot of employees. Where all are you located at?
We're all over the state. Obviously, being one of the large providers, we serve 225 communities around the state, both rural and urban. We have pockets of employees in Des Moines. We have a couple of call centers. We have another call center in Sioux City and one in Waterloo. And then outside of that, we just have various employees and managers around the state taking care of customers day after day.
Taking care of customers. I like that you say what sets you apart is the employees. Something at the Urbandale Chamber that we always talk about is what makes us unique, what sets us apart, and it's our members. So it's good that CenturyLink actually realizes that. That's
We're proud of that.
Yeah, sounds like it. That's good. So what about Michael? What does Michael do outside of all the traveling and all those hours that you work?
Well, number one, I have a teenage daughter at home, so I try to keep tabs on her. She's a busy athlete, junior at Dowling High School. So a lot of time in gyms on the weekends, watching her play and excel. Outside of that, I like to spend time helping in the community, serve on a number of nonprofit boards around the state, which I think it's important to give back to the community. That's another thing that our company has historically been supportive of employees being active in the community. So you'll see our name on a lot of different things around town. In fact, this weekend, we are the lead sponsor for the March of Dimes Walk, and I'm the chair. So anyone listening, feel free to come out to DMAC Ankeny on Saturday morning and walk with us.
How do they is there a website or something that they can?
You can go to marchofdimes.org and click on the Des Moines link and get more information. But 9 o'clock Saturday morning, come out and walk with us.
And where are you starting the walk at?
It's at the Ankeny campus at DMAC. We're walking around the lake out there 2 times around. It's a mile.
Wow, that's a nice walk.
Out walking for babies.
Excellent. I can't think of a better reason to walk.
Absolutely.
Now, you talked about a lot of nonprofits. You are one of our board members at the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for that. How did you get involved in that one?
I've been involved with the chamber a little bit, probably the last 5 or 6 years. I've served as a volunteer, led the TRC campaign for 3 years. And after I finished my TRC service, Tiffany Minke asked if I'd like to serve on the board, and I was happy to help. I'm a big fan of the Urbandale Chamber. We've been members for a long time, and chamber staff does great work. As you said, takes care of members. So I was happy to help however I can as a board member.
Well, do you ever get any free time?
Not much, and I like it that way.
It keeps you out of trouble?
Absolutely.
Good. Do you like to read? Are you a reader at all?
Not a whole lot of time for reading other than reading the paper daily. I'm still one of those that reads the paper copy of the Register every morning. When I do read, I like to read nonfiction. I read a lot about personal finance type things, history, business, biographies, things like that.
I'm sure you need to stay up on what's going on with the government too, don't you?
That's an almost impossible job to keep up on, but it does keep me awake at night.
So there had to have been some mentors in your past. Can you think of anybody, one or several? Tell me a little bit about that mentoring process for you.
Over the years, there's been a lot. I mean, I think back to when I was a kid. Some of the people I looked up to. Both people that I knew, and then there were those that I guess were kind of my idols. And I think my first idol, the first person I saw that said, he's an example of the kind of person I want to be, was as a young basketball player. I was always a fan of Dr. J. And I always loved the fact that he was not only a phenomenal basketball player, but he was a class act off the court. When he interviewed, he was always on point. He always wore suit and tie, always looked clean, always spoke very eloquently. And that was kind of my first, I guess, idol that I had. As I got older, there were some guys here around town that I always looked up to. Guys like Marvin Alexander, who's not retired, he's working again, but he's an insurance executive that worked with my mom. There were guys like that I thought, when I grow up, I want to be like him. And then in more recent years, a good friend of mine, Mike Ralston, who runs the Iowa Association of Business and Industry. I worked with him for several years, and that's another guy. It's a class act all the time. And those are the kind of people I look up to.
Yes, he is. Yeah. That's exciting to hear. Now, if you were to spend an hour with anybody, living or not, who would you choose?
That's a good question. I can only pick one.
Maybe top 5.
I have to say, if I had to pick one, Charles Barkley.
Okay.
I think Charles is an interesting guy with some strong opinions. I'd love to spend an hour with him, just kind of talking about a lot of different things.
So what would be the first question you'd ask him?
I would probably talk politics.
Well, did you play ball then when you were young?
I did.
Did you?
Yep.
And where did you go?
I played at Dowling High School and I played at Simpson College.
All right. So your daughter's really in that legacy because she's at Dowling now.
She is.
Are you a Des Moines native then?
Not a native. I was born in New York City.
You were?
Yes, but my mom and I moved here when I was 10 years old, and I've been in Des Moines ever since, and never left Central Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boy, that had to have been a culture shock from New York to...
It was initially, and I always tell this story. My mom worked in Manhattan for an insurance company they were opening several new centers around the country. And they told my mom that you can pick whichever one you want to go to. We want you to move and help set one of these up. So she had a choice of Des Moines, San Francisco, or Charlotte, North Carolina. She visited all three cities and chose Des Moines. Some people say, "Are you nuts?" But her comment to me has always been that she really liked the people in Des Moines. She felt welcome here and didn't so much on the coast. Mm-hmm. And obviously she made the right call because I'm still here today.
Well, and it sounds like she had a big influence in your life also,
Absolutely
being a
did.
Strong woman.
Absolutely did. She just passed away about a month ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But she was a great woman.
Wonderful. Well, she's got a great son who is an
you.
advocate for lots of different things around the city, and we're lucky to have you still here in Des Moines.
Thank you very much.
Now, how can they get a hold of CenturyLink? Is there a website if individuals wanted to do business, wanted to learn more about your bundles and things like that? What's the best way to get a hold of?
I think a lot of people nowadays like to go on the internet, which is fine with us. Mm-hmm. So www.centurylink.com will get you to our main website, and you can navigate from there with whatever you want to find out about. If you do want to talk to a live person, you can call 1-800-244-1111.
Now, is that a 24-hour line, that customer service
It's
line?
not 24 hours. I think we're open 7 to 7, Monday through Friday.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
We certainly appreciate it. Again, we've got Michael here with the CenturyLink, and this is Janice with Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. Remember, Tuesdays are special. We do Meet the Chamber every Tuesday. Here, coming up in June, we're going to have a series of different individuals that'll be joining us on Tuesday mornings at 9. I'll put on coffee, not anything else like Mac talks about, but we'll have coffee there for you, and we'll learn about chamber benefits and if it makes sense for your business to join the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Janice. Have a great day.